Hey, what's happening? This is Parker Edison. We're a couple weeks away from the official start of Season 3 of the PEP on KPBS. And to get you warmed up, we're releasing 2 bonus episodes. I started both of them when we were wrapping up Season 2, and they kind of got stuck in this limbo, so I'm super geeked that you'll get to hear them. They're deep, connected to my real life. One of them is sort of dark, and the other's a little lighter. So with no further ado, this is bonus ep number 2. It's me and some friends discussing rap, and then I'm talking with a brilliant, wise, intelligent.
I'm not including like D-Smoke and people currently, but there's something specifically about the 80s cadence and the 90s cadence of LA, Oakland vocal sound, just vocal cadence on a track that I still dislike.
You are now tuned to the Parker Edison Project.
Oof, we got a great episode for you today with an interview that I'm personally super excited about. But before we get into that, I got a couple friends on Zoom right now. We're just talking rap music. Hey, you guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Angie Chandler. I'm a lover of music. I curate experiences and programming around that and help artists to feel supported within that industry. I just love hip hop. I am like the lady in brown sugar.
Edgar Almanar, also known as DJ Gargar. I mean, I do have a 9-to-5 at UC San Diego, but who I am is, I'm a musician, DJ, producer.
What's the best sophomore rap album in history?
It Was Written was the first one that came to mind. Man, I'm a Dre stan, so 2001 is up there. Ooh, Low End Theory has to go up there.
Oh, that's fine.
Fair.
And Life After Death, I'll stop there. I mean, if I have to pick one out of those, I gotta say 2001 because I'm biased to Dre, but.
What city or borough think gave us the best rap artist?
I have to say Queens. Like when I list out the best and the who keeps coming back, who's consistently a fave, I gotta say Queens. So New York City, for people listening who are not familiar, we are a city of 5 boroughs. Those boroughs are Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island. Just a little geography for the people.
Because borough, I mean, if I'm just gonna go the very cliche answer, right? You've got in Brooklyn, it's J, Big,
Kane.
Yeah, Kane. Queens has Nas,
Tribe,
Cool J, Prodigy.
Mob Deep. Yeah, I was gonna say Mob Deep. So you say Prodigy.
No, Mob Deep is Queens.
Mob Deep is Queens. Staten Island is only the Wu. I mean,
Wu-Tang, yep, in Staten.
Yeah. Run DMC, Nori, yeah, Queens.
The whole thing, a whole strong. Yeah.
But my initial reaction was going to be Brooklyn, but
yeah, Queens get the money. But I'm gonna say this: mine goes Jersey, then Queens, then Long Island.
Jersey.
All right, remember I said I had that great interview I wanted you to hear? Well, it happens to be one of Jersey's own.
What's your name and what do you do for a living, sir?
Wise, intelligent. I serve the people for a living. My background, of course, is most notably known for music for the legendary Poor Righteous Teachers crew, 1990s rap group out of Trenton, New Jersey. That's the background.
Respect. I gotta just put this out. Me and my guys are always having this conversation about the best spots that yield rap, and I always say Queens and Jersey. Those are 2, and then Long Island, because Rakim, Chuck D, all of those heads. But Jersey has like so many like top tier MCs: Redman, Latifah, Wyclef, Buttons, Tretch, yourself. What do you think it is that Jersey has that gives such quality MCs?
Isolation, maybe. Jersey doesn't have any major radio stations, major record companies, anything like that. Not a lot of major events going on in Jersey in terms of music conferences and things of that nature. So MCs, artists from Jersey normally have to migrate to other areas, other states, other cities to participate in the broader scope of hip hop. So that isolation allowed us to hone our skills in a unique way. We wasn't really every day in the spaces where other artists were, like New York. New York had its thing. New York had its thing. Jersey had its thing because it was isolated. We had to develop it in that isolation. I think that gave us the ability to develop without too much of an overwhelming influence. As in hip hop, we're all influenced by other MCs, other artists, in the culture. But for the most part, it allowed us to develop a uniqueness. My biggest influences as an MC were for a local artist. You know what I mean? I was carrying records for DJ T-Bone at like 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. I would carry records to his parties when he was DJing. You know, even with breakdancing and graffiti art. You know, I was doing graffiti art for a long time. I was doing big ass murals like on the walls, like burners. You know, even the reggae influence that PRT exhibited in our style, it was more local than anything else. You know, Job Pops and his family, you know, would have dub sessions in the basement. You know, and roots rock reggae from the local artists. You know, they were most impactful because they were different to me. They didn't sound like anybody from New York. They didn't sound like anybody from Philadelphia. You know, we were between New York and Philadelphia.
Fair enough, man. Just like for the record, can I just give maybe two cats that are in your top 5? They don't got to be Jersey. They can be from anywhere.
My top 5 is solid. I mean, no particular order. Rakim, KRS-One, Chuck D, Brother J, X-Clan, Lauryn Hill. That's it. That's my 5 all day.
Big shout out, man.
You know, but it's hard. It's hard to have a top 5, a top 10, a top 20 in hip hop. You know, because the platform is about self-expression. Each artist is expressing themselves in a very unique way, especially from our era. So you can't be a better Chuck D than Chuck D. You can't be a better Rakim than Rakim. You can't be a better KRS-One than KRS. You can't be a better Lauryn Hill than Lauryn Hill. So I kind of gauged my top 5 is kind of based on the needle, how they move the needle in the culture, impact to the culture.
You got a wild, deep catalog, man. Do you have a favorite project from your own catalog?
I don't have a favorite because each one of them has something on it, something that amazes me sometimes. You know, I don't listen to my music a lot. So when I'm throwing back, you know, I do the throwback thing, I'll go back, I'll listen to some music and I'll hear a song and I'm like, a lyric, you know, it could be 2-4 bars. And I'm like, yo, I actually said that. You know, I actually said that. You know, so I don't necessarily have a favorite. I've never written a piece of music with the intent of making money or gaining fans. I've always wrote music from the vantage point of 50 years from now, when they're questioning hip hop and they're listening to the music, you know, my music can represent a lifestyle and an attitude that mainstream media is not ready to represent. You know, when they say, okay, hip hoppers was on lean, they were lean drinkers, they were drug sniffers, pill poppers, gangbangers, shooters, and murderers. You know, they'll have this time capsule. And they can say, wait a minute, is this not hip hop?
Right.
So they can hear us pushing back. You know what I mean? They can hear that, you know, the culture was pushing back. You know, mainstream doesn't define what hip hop is, you know, so I'm writing from that vantage point. I'm going to control this narrative for the historian that's looking back 50 years from now.
See? Hooking y'all up, right? Hey, stick around. I'm going to hit this commercial. We coming right back with more of the PEP.
Stay tuned for more of the PEP.
In 2023, hip-hop is turning 50 years old, and there's no better way to celebrate this monumental anniversary than by playing the Questions Hip-Hop Trivia game, based on the acclaimed live event turned online show and podcast of the same name. The Questions Hip Hop Trivia features 300 cards to challenge and entertain everybody from casual listeners to the most die-hard liner note reading rap nerds. The Questions Hip Hop Trivia, available wherever you get games and books, or order yours at www.questionshiphop.com.
What's your favorite place that you've seen rap show up in fashion, the aesthetic and commercial, the sports realm, media?
I'm a sucker for like in a movie or a TV show when, you know, it could be something happy, it could be something intense, it could be something sad. And then the beat drops at the exact right moment to match the visual. And then, you know, even better than that, when like the lyrics, they find the snippet of the song where like the lyrics match the visual. That's like my favorite application of hip hop, of rap.
And now back to the PEP.
All right, we're about to get into the second half of this interview with Wise Intelligent. I've been a huge fan of his music since the 90s, and a big reason for that is his approach to balancing the music and the business.
Man, I gotta ask this personally, you know, purely for myself, man. The outro to your 1996 New World Order album with Poor Righteous Teachers, which features Lauren on Allies, man, and the Fugees. You got a skit where you essentially describe the signing of the Patriot Act like 6 years before it occurred, man. Do you know the outro that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. The executive orders.
Bruh, how were you so on point with those predictions? Because it's a few of those that came right into existence like 5 to 10 years after you did that.
You know, we studied a lot. You know, we paid attention to what was going on, not just in our hood, but around the world, global politics, you know, the geopolitical reality. You can see certain patterns, you'll see certain things, and they don't put laws into effect that they're not going to implement, you know, at some point. You know what I mean? It's like they're not writing it just for the sake of writing it. You know, it's all connected to trajectory. You know, it's all agenda driven. So when I first learned of the orders, you know, Behold the Pale Horse, that book, you know, and a couple others, en route to global occupation, books like that started, you know, they just accented what I was already studying in real time. You know, like I say, there's no such thing as a secret society, but there are societies of secrets. You know what I mean? You know, it's not a secret. They're right in front of you. They're in plain sight. You know, it was always about just knowing what was going on in the world and responding accordingly. You know what I mean? Doing what I felt I needed to do to make people aware and at the same time put myself in a better position. You know, because my thing is that has been, you know, as I mature, you know, my understanding, my growth and development, I realized that we don't have to fight against these systems. These systems are wired in a way where they're going to implode.
When you say stuff like that, man, and share these types of knowledges on your records, I could see where that could be perceived as being controversial. Have you ever had to deal with pushback for this type of honesty?
Absolutely. On the record label itself, you know, we would have questions from staff members at the record company about certain things we'd say and views. You know, and this is the thing about institutional control. Power is exercised at the institutional level, right? If you don't control institutions, you don't have power. I don't care how much money you have, because people depend on life-sustaining institutions to sustain their lives. They depend on these institutions like schools. Schools are institutions. You know, banks, they're institutions, financial institutions. So people depend on them. You know, if you control these institutions, a record company in effect is an institution. So the pushback, they hear something we say, and then they be like, oh, these are your views? What do you mean by this? You know what I mean? We feel like, you know, some people have questions about it. You know, so when you explain it to them, they're like, oh, okay. We get it. But then they'll tighten up the marketing dollars and not promote your records. You know what I mean? Right. Not promote your records because they control the institution. Regardless to how real and historically factual what you're saying is, you know, it's not the point. Mm-hmm. The point is they have the power to impede it because it's an institution. I remember one time we had some pushback in Ohio. We were on a radio, a Christian organization. They came to the radio station to protest something that I said on the radio. It was the black man is God. You know, I said the black man is God. You know what I mean? But that was some pushback that we got. And then later I received pushback from the Killing You for Fun album. You know, Killing You for Fun album, because the cover had the burning of the brother Hezekiah in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. Walmart wouldn't shelf it.
How do you navigate dealing with the politics of the business and still maintaining your art and your integrity and your goals?
It's like I said in a line, my commercially defective rap aesthetic needs an edit just so white folk could get it. I don't make music for that. So the business of rap for me is finding the audience. It's like if you're looking for green tea in the grocery store. You go in the grocery store, you drink green tea. You're gonna go look for the green tea. You're gonna ask somebody, yo, where's the green tea? It's over there in aisle, whatever. The kid that's looking for soda pop. The soda pop is over there. You go get the soda pop. You know what I mean? But this is green tea. It's premium. I'm not trying to compete with in the commercial spaces that mainstream rap is functioning in. I get asked the question a lot. What do you think? What's the difference between hip hop in your era and hip hop now? Do you think that it's changed? Do you think hip hop is worse or better off? Do you think hip hop, my response is always, I think hip hop is exactly the way it was when it began. The mainstream is just highlighting a particular narrative. You know what I mean? It's like that narrative is controlled by mainstream, but there's still a plethora of conscious hip hop artists. They just can't see the light of day in the mainstream. Whereas in our era, they could, because there was over 200 record companies. Now was only 5. There were over 2,000 radio stations, but now they're all owned by one. That's what the problem is. The problem is not hip hop. Hip hop is there's still break dancers, there's still graffiti artists, there's still b-boys, still DJs, there's still MCs spitting something other than sex, money, and murder. It's just that we don't control the institutions for the dissemination of the hip hop. We don't control the major platforms for it. So it creates this perception that hip hop is this one thing that you hear from these 10 MCs that the record is playing 40 times a day.
Talk that talk, Wise. Talk that talk. And I don't want to keep you. I appreciate you giving me this amount of time. Two more really quick questions. One is, what are you working on now?
Music-wise, I've been doing a series called Back to School, and the Back to School series started with period 1, first period. First period was the talented Timothy Taylor. I did up to 5 periods so far. And I just finished 6th period. I'm releasing that next. It's called Wise Intelligent is Poem Chomsky. The Poem Chomsky project is going to be an NFT project, and you get every drop, you get every video, you get every song, and you get bonus freestyles. NFTs. It's NFTs of me just spitting verses. And this side project on this one is going to be an NFT project as well. You buy the Poem Chomsky project, you automatically get this project is called the Man Drill Project. It's me on drill beats. I'm on all drill beats. And, a grown man on drill beats, Man Drill. I'm looking to release that on my own platform. It's called Digital Dope. Digitaldope.io. And, I'm the president of the Rap Snacks Foundation. I've been developing entrepreneurship and financial empowerment programs for youth, for young people, for students at HBCUs, students in the community, where the community can teach the community. So Stock Boss Up is an app that we developed to teach how to invest in the stock market so that you'll get a handle on how the economy works. All the companies that drive the economy, and you'll see from investing in the stock market, you learn immediately how the culture influences commerce. We supporting these brands every day, learn how they work. And then we can create our own platforms, create our own brands and do similar, within our communities. Then we have Backspin's program. Backspin's a music program. We're going to do projects with the youth from our platform, from Backspins. We'll pull a student producer, a student writer, and a student MC or singer, and build an NFT project around them, release it, let them build a community, and see how to and then they can learn. They're learning how to monetize the intellectual property. That's what it's about: intellectual property ownership and monetization. Because we are the bag. We don't have to secure the bag. We the bag. If we're going to secure anything, we need to secure ourselves, right? Because we're the resource.
That's you doing the next level of the next level right there. Don't give them no more. I'm gonna put the whole interview on a website so cats can listen to it for free. I hope you got like a lecture series coming along, like a little master class that cats can just tap in, tune in, and get this type of knowledge from you, bro.
Good stuff. Appreciate you.
And just for the record, how can cats find you on the internet? Where's the fastest place to go to find you?
IG, Wise Intelligent, spelled how you would find it in a dictionary. WiseIntelligent.com. I got dope merch. Yeah. So, and the book is out. So you can get the book from the website. 3/5 an MC, Manufacturing of a Dumbed Down Rapper.
Woof.
It's available now.
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you.
Fire, right? Big thank you to Wise Intelligent for taking the time. If you're not familiar, look up Poor Righteous Teachers and start there. Big smart. Pro-black gems on gems on gems. Matter of fact, I'm going to run something by him right now. Why wait? This is from his 2018 solo album, Ponzi. It's called On Everything.
What is rap though? What does any of that matter if we unable to answer why these I'm just clap for? Why the math be aligning when my baby sit behind me while I'm driving and that bullet pierce her window? I'm singing from the get-go. That depends on who you asking. Some be praying, others fasting. Some say emphatically yes, some say it's no. I guess all life is a struggle. How you live or die determined by how you see yourself inside of that fact. But when you don't control perception and your enemy's aggression, use your culture as a weapon, you accept that. Manufactured narrative and dangerous single story crackers packaged to disparage, hate and subjugate they captives, so we brought low. Now broken is spread they ignorance on some talk show. Corporate thoughts like Mona Scott tell them be more hope. If not for black love and hip hop, I would be heartbroken. From the bottom up, we lining up, we honey cut. We bamboo and niggas losing, plus they music suck. Starstruck, singing for lust, what wealthy losers touch. I see these wasters on the covers of these magazines. They call us haters, but we saviors to you Negro kids. I'm burning all the shoulders down, put that on everything. Put that on everything, I swear on everything. My black life, black, white seeds and everything. In the eye, but what I write is everything. On everything, over me homes, I'm sure on everything. On everything, on everything, on everything. I put that on everything. My black life, black, white seeds and everything. What is race raps? How does any of that matter when these manufactured rappers literally bend over backwards smiling?
Thanks for stopping in. Parker Edison Project is produced and hosted by yours truly, Parker Edison, and the good people at Platform Collection. Be sure to subscribe and catch the next episode on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have any comments or questions, visit theparkeredisonproject.com and please, please leave a review so people can see what you think of the show. My guy Chris Reyes is our head editor. Adrian Villalobos is media production specialist. Lisa Jane Morrisette is director of audio programming and operations, and John Decker is senior director of content development. This programming is made possible in part by the KPBS Explore Content Fund. And I love saying that because it reminds me of Sesame Street. And special thanks to my roundtable guests, Angie C. and DJ Gargar. Seriously, y'all stay safe out there.
Keep hip hop alive.